Pride and Prejudice. This is my favorite movie. Reasons being because a lot of people don't overcome the trial of pride, their pride and being prejudiced of each other, and fully get the opportunity to love each other. And in this, there's a lot of misunderstandings and judgments based on other people's opinions or their own interpretations or perspectives or perception of each other or circumstances through other people who are in their circles. Keira Knightley plays Elizabeth Bennet on here, and she does a remarkable job. Honestly, I love how affectionately passionate she is in her roles and when she's playing. And all the scenes in here, she's not overly put with makeup. She's just so natural looking. And he, as a male, um, he looks pretty handsome for his part. And given the time that this was, playing, and given it was back in this period of time, he and her were pretty handsome, and the way of courting, the way of relationships and marriage were through proposal or through dance on the ballroom. And the movie itself is really great. And I love how the ending had when occurred. Now, I thought the ending would have a little bit more, but it didn't. It left us with that last kiss, and after that, that's it. But throughout the entire movie, she was elegant. She was outspoken. She spoke up for injustice. She spoke up for her morals. She spoke up for what she believed in. And, back then, with women not having rights, not really having the ability to run a state or own anything really. Back then there were duchesses and Dutch. And back then women didn't have the rights to, speak or say much, because back then men had the power of the estate, the power of over their wives, um the ability to propose. Women had this one ability to deny a proposal, but then she had to think of her family, because, women back then were carrying the weight of their family. They're not able to take care of themselves. So now they're put in a predicament to rely on men who may or may not propose to them to save them from a lifetime of destitution when it comes to like money, finances. Back then, because they couldn't inherit the estate, they had to rely upon a husband to pretty much supply their lifestyle. If in the beginning their parents pretty much took care of them and provided financial means, until a husband comes along and takes upon the responsibility of the family to continue to, do those things. So I guess when I look at marriage from this attribute, it was a business exchange. And some people did not want to marry to save themselves from the financial debt. Some people wanted to marry for love. And I believe that's what Elizabeth Bennet stood for. She stood for something greater, because she wanted to do and be and speak for what she truly believed. And anything that wasn't what she necessarily believed in, she didn't tag or follow along. Like, I just think this is an incredible example of how you should be in hard and oppressed times. She is a strong character in the sense of she never backs down, right? On any aspect. Now, she did do some things or thought some things based on her own perspective and perception of one-sided truth. And one-sided truth is not good, because the thing about truth is you got this side, you got that side, and you got the middle lines where there's just, complete truth. No matter how people perceive it on either sides, there's just the naked, honest thing in between. So, though both of them are very prideful and both of them are very prejudiced, both of them prideful enough to judge each other without consideration of understanding to ask. Like, I mean, if you want to believe a stranger about another stranger, you don't really know Mr. Darcy for you to take on somebody else's words about him. It's kind of like being blindsided and ignorant, But I believe that ultimately she has a very strong character. Darcy is very shy, and he doesn't have a good ability to be social. He's, like I said, he's shy. He pretty bold about what he wants. He speaks very ill of her, as if she's not handsome enough for her. But the reality of that is he was falling in love with this woman, and both of them at first sight was quite smitten on each other. Now, in the beginning, you don't really understand the level of connection or the spark in which may happen between people, but that spark, out of misunderstanding, created a beautiful connection, because both of them overcame their pride, both of them overcame their prejudice, and eventually both wanted to love and be together. He eventually gradually earned the love of Elizabeth Bennet, and she eventually got exactly what she believed in. But everybody else in her family, I think everybody played their part pretty well in this movie. It does do the book a great justice. I've seen the other Pride and Prejudice, the zombie one, or vampire one, whichever, and then the very old ones. They're all pretty good, but this one, given that it's the newer version, it's pretty awesome as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you love love stories, I probably watched this 500 times, no lie. I have 2 DVDs of this just because I watch it so much. But I just think I'm a little more obsessed with this because I just love the connection. I just love the profound poetry, the way they speak, the way they communicated back then, the way. But then again, you have to think about the history. You got to think about the oppression. You have to think about the struggles of women and the uprise of evolution to where we are today, because it wasn't like it's not like that anymore. I'm not really sure how evolved where that era has become over there, but I believe that they've evolved beyond that, and women have more rights, and women have more ability to speak and choose marriage and things like that, and do and own things. Women have more ability now. So I'm just glad that times have changed, and women can make greater choices because they have greater options and greater ability, because they're not limited to one attribute of things. So that's my take on this.